to A Well-Designed Business. My name is LuAnn Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company WindowWorks from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. No interview today. It's me and you. There's no strategy session, really, unless one that you could extrapolate possibly from this conversation that I'm going to share. But at its heart, it's a conversation from me to you about things that have been evolving behind the scenes here at LuAnn Nigara Inc. for quite a while now. You may remember back in February for our 9-year anniversary episode, this is February 2025, if you're listening in the future, I hinted at a change coming to the podcast. Well, today I am pulling back the curtain and walking you through that change. It's time. And I want to tell you not just what's changing, but why. And more importantly, how this shift is designed to help you even more and how I believe this at my core. Here's the deal. Over the years, I've had so many of you, window treatment professionals and interior designers, say to me, LuAnn, I have built my business by listening to your show. And I have to say, nothing means more to me than hearing that. That is such a moment of joy and gratitude that it's hard for me to express it to you. But I also know after 9 years and more than 1,400 episodes between two podcasts, that there are many of those of you who have grown beyond the need for these hour-long conversations on why you should know your numbers or you should document your systems. You know it. You've heard it. You've lived it. And if I'm honest with you, if you haven't done it by now, you're probably not going to, all right? And so I'm feeling like at this point, you probably don't need another episode telling you that you need a clear client process or a killer welcome packet. And if you've been with me since the early days, and I know that many of you have evolved. As a human, as a business owner, as a designer, as a window treatment professional. And you know what? So have I. And what I know is what you need now is different. It's more specific, more focused, and more actionable. So I am going to evolve this podcast right alongside you, right alongside your evolution as a business owner. Okay, and here's how it's going to work starting now. There will be two main types of episodes airing weekly. During this period, while I work on developing the brand new format behind the scenes, okay? Because I need to go put my head down and do this great idea, okay? So the two kinds of episodes that you are going to see and hear mostly are going to be, for a short while, the best of A Well-Designed Business, 2016 to 2024. These are the most downloaded episodes across the entire platform. And what does that say? This says that these are the episodes that you have listened to and you have probably listened to a second time or you've shared it with a colleague because it really hit a mark for you, right? Now, I want to tell you, if you're relatively new to the podcast, whether that's 2 months or 2 years, this series of episodes is your shortcut. You know, you don't have to open up your podcast queue and scroll through, 1,100 titles on one podcast and 300 or 400 on the other and decide where to start. These episodes are the ones that shaped the businesses, okay? Now, here's the other thing. If you are a seasoned listener, then I know this to be true 100%. If you listen to an episode 2 years ago, 5 years ago, or 9 years ago, you are a different business owner now. And the thing that was revealed in an episode prior, you might not have been ready to hear. The lesson in it might have gone right over your head because you were so involved in the season where you were in your business that some of the concepts might have been like, yeah, can't worry about that now. I'm worrying about this. Okay. So what I know is that the conversation and the ahas and the insights will hit you differently, even if you got value from it the first time. You're ready for different information. You're going to hear it differently and you're going to put it into action differently. So I honestly believe that the best of episode series will benefit you regardless of where you are in your business journey. Okay. The other type of episode that we're going to air over the next several months are the times where I have been a guest on other podcasts. Okay. These conversations have different angles and they have different insights than what I bring to a conversation as an interviewer. Okay. As an interviewer, I'm looking to try and reframe and capture and summarize what my guest is teaching us. But when I'm the guest, then I'm just coming at you. I'm just laying it out what I think about a thing, regardless of, hey, what were we being taught in that moment? So I think that they're worth a listen. And there's been, quite a few other podcasts that I've been on over the years. And I think you're going to enjoy it. And the other plus of this is maybe you'll resonate with the host of that podcast. And maybe you'll start to listen to that podcast on a regular basis because you really enjoyed that interviewer and their style. Okay. There is enough for all of us to do all of the things. So if in this process, I'm shining a light on other podcasts in the industry, well, yay, all of us is how I feel about it. Okay. Now, why am I doing this? What am I going to be doing during this time frame while we're airing these quote unquote repeats? Well, I'm putting my head down and I'm building a brand new format for this podcast. Okay. And I think that this is going to be a game changer for you and your business. So let me explain. I've heard from many of you that you love our episode collections, right? So for example, you might head over, you're getting ready to hire a new employee and you head over to my website and you go to the collection hiring and team management. And then there it is, 10 shows populate, 20 shows populate, depending on whatever the collection is. Okay. But here's the thing. What I know for a fact is that if you're facing a specific challenge, like how do I write a proper job description? Listening to 20 shows to try and find that information isn't really, that's annoying. Let's be real. That's annoying, right? It's not targeted and it's not what you need in that exact moment. So here's what I'm going to be doing over the next several months. I'm going to be creating pain point specific compilation episodes. So an episode now isn't going to be general advice on hiring and team management. It's going to be focused, curated, topic-driven episodes built around one question. How do I write a job description that attracts the right hire? What is the best way to run a team meeting? How do I fire or rehab a struggling employee? How do I scale my team without sacrificing my company culture? You see, it's one pain point. Each one of these is a single episode, right? One pain point, one episode with the best advice from multiple experts that have already been on the show and shared these insights with us, okay? Now, of course, like I always do, I'm going to, in these new episodes, these compilation episodes, I'm going to share my observations, my experiences, my recommendations for putting these into implementation in your business. Okay, so all of that's still going to be there. But the thing is, if I've got target advice on a single topic from 3 of our previous past guests or 5, It's like having 5 business coaches in your ear for 30 minutes, all focused on solving one problem. And of course, we will reference in each one of these episodes the full episode so that if a particular expert's advice is hitting you between the eyes, you can say, geez, I want to hear their whole show. And you'll be easily directed right to it so that you're not scrolling through. You just click to that episode, okay? The thing is, what I know is that at this point in my business journey, this is what I need at this point. And I have it because I have all these people on speed dial for me, right? I can pick up the phone and call Peter Lang and ask him one crazy question to check my own CPA, what they're thinking. Or I can call Sandra Funk and say, I'm working with a chairman of the board client and I keep getting pushback on the flat fee. Give me your language. Tell me why it makes so much sense to you, Sandra. And then I go back and I go along my merry way. But I recognize that that is not a luxury that many of us in this industry have. But here's the thing. I have all the answers. I have these 1,400 interviews with all of these insights from all of these experts. And now I'm just going to make them easier for you to find and use, because the entire catalog is going to sit there. And so if you're listening and you're in business 3 months, yes, go through and listen to it all. But if you're in business even 9 years since I started and you feel like you have your feet under you, yay you. But I know me. I got my feet under me and I still reach out on a regular basis to get the answer to the question I have. And I don't want to read an entire book to get the answer. I don't want to listen to an entire video on 16 aspects of a problem. I want the answer. And so this is providing that answer for you. Sharp, targeted, valid, actionable, vetted. Put all the adjectives you want on it, right? And I just think this is going to be such a game changer for all of us, all right? Now, what's not changing about the podcast, okay? So you're still going to hear our on-air strategy sessions, because I have to say, I think every single month I get an email saying, I just really appreciate this on-air strategy session. You love the vulnerability of the guest. You love that the guest is willing to say, I know there's 10 podcast episodes on this, but I still don't get it, right? And then hearing me help them walk through the resolution process for that challenge. So we're going to keep the on-air strategy sessions. We are going to schedule more regularly the overheard episodes. These are the panel type shows where I have 2 to 4 industry people on the episode with me, and we tackle one question. So in the past, we've tackled resilience and what does that mean to you, first of all, and how have you had to really lean on your own resilience over the years in your business. We've had overheard episodes on creativity. Literally, how do you feed the creativity so that you can perform at your best every day in an industry that really just could kick you on your butt every single other second, right? We've had episodes on, the moment that you just felt like, okay, I think I'm just going to sit on the bathroom floor and cry for the next hour because this is unbelievable that this happened in my business. Right? So we're going to continue with the overheard episodes. I am going to continue my CEO conversations with Kate O'Hara. I know there's only been a couple, but we are scheduling others, and these are going to come out on a regular basis quarterly. These are exceptionally good episodes, regardless if you're new or seasoned. In my mind, they're geared more towards you if you're seasoned, but the more you learn, the sooner you learn it, yay you. Okay. Kate just brings so many different viewpoints and aspects of running a business, particularly a design business, that, when I have conversations with her, she blows my mind every time. And I was just like, why am I keeping these in Boxer? These have to be shared with you guys, right? And then, of course, there's going to be interviews. All right. First of all, just so you know, in full transparency, I closed podcast submissions to be on this podcast July in 2024. That's the last time that we accepted new podcast submissions. And the thing is, being closed for almost a full year now, I still have 30 interviews in my calendar scheduled over the next several months. So that's people that have been waiting for a year, year and a half to be on the show. I'm not going to look at anybody that's been given a date and say, never mind, not doing these anymore. So I love doing these interviews. They will still be, valid and interesting. And I'm sure we'll get an aha from every single one, but those will be sprinkled in throughout this mix of different episodes. Okay. And then at some point, we'll be ready to fully transfer over to these compilation episodes, the overheards, the CEO conversations, the on-air strategy sessions. And of course, I'll always leave time for sponsored episodes so that we can bring to you the brands and the vendors and the trades in the industry that I think are something that is worth your at least look at. And then also, there will still be probably specialty interviews that come up that need to be done, because how can you not talk about it? But that's kind of how it's going to roll. All right. Now, why now? Why now? Well, after almost 10 years of producing 3 to 5 episodes per week, every week, between A Well-Designed Business and Window Treatments for Profit, I'm a little tired of the deadline-driven nature of it, in complete transparency. Okay. I am not tired of the work. I am not tired of the conversations. I'm not tired of the ahas. I'm not tired of being one of the people in the industry that brings you this next level of insights that help you build your own well-designed business. But I am just a little enough with, it's Wednesday at 3:00 and you don't have Friday's show in the can. I'm done. I'm done with that. I'm just going to tell you, I'm tired of it. It's enough. The old girl is seeing the wall. And the thing is, I know I will work into my 70s and 80s. I know it. But one of my super strengths, one of my superpowers has always been seeing what's way down the line. So just like in my late 40s, I started looking for the business that would be the thing that I could sink my teeth into post WindowWorks, and landed on it when I was 53, and it became this, right? Just like I saw that and I saw that vision, I'm seeing the next iteration, the next vision of this business, of LuAnn Nigara Inc. And it does not include tearing down a podcast, but it does include taking all of this content from the podcast and repurposing it in a way that adds great value to you. You can go listen to hour-long shows all day long. Listen to every nuance on 15 shows about hiring and team management or marketing or sales. Or when you just want to know the thing you want to know, I want to be the person that you're like, LuAnn will know it. LuAnn will have it on there. She has all the best guests. She has all the best insights. She ties it all together in a bow. She will have it. Let me go and look for that. Because that is the next version of this. This is the next iteration of it. All right. So I am not tired of helping you grow a business. I am not tired of teaching what it means to run a well-designed business. In fact, I've actually rarely felt as inspired. I'm feeling like when I started the podcast all 9 years ago, right? I'm having that same, this is what we need. This is what will be good for everybody. But I need to clear the decks to do it. I need time to think and to create and to put this new format out because, as much as I have writers, I have my regular full-time staff, I've got my pal ChatGPT, I know that this needs to be written, vetted, and approved by me because I could develop a process for ChatGPT, pass it off to writers and my team to do. But it's my final, is that actually a good business idea? Is that actually a tactic? Because that is how I've approached this podcast from the beginning, every conversation I've had. I've either in real time listened to an expert or a designer or a window treatment professional tell me an idea that they're using in their business. And in real time, my brain is either saying, yep, that's exactly what we have done in our business. That's why this person is, so confident about this idea, because I absolutely concur and know that this works. Boom. So here comes my take on it, my emphasis on it, my, high five to the guest. Or by contrast, I've had actual ahas where I'm like, I never thought of that. What? We kept trying to make a thing work, but this was the missing piece that we didn't understand, and that's why it wasn't working for us. Okay? So every conversation has been filtered through my lens of experience and expertise. And I know that these episodes need that same final filter. I need to know that if I put something out, that if I'm saying these are the 5 best things on how to write a proper job description, that they actually are the 5 best things, not some, thing that I'm like, I did that in my business and it didn't work, right? So I need the time to put my head down and do this so that I'm as proud of this new version of the show as I am of our existing version, right? And the other thing, quite frankly, I'll put out there is that I've also finally focused on the title and the outline and the content for my 4th book. So, my first book was a solo book. The second 2 books were co-authored books. And I have it's 4 years since the 3rd book came out. And in all, again, I'm being completely level with you here. For the last 2 or 3 years, I'm like, you got to write another book. You got to write another book. And, Vincenzo will say to me, like, why? And I'll be like, well, because, like, I can't just be a one-hit wonder. I can't be, I have to. And he's like, I don't know. That sounds like a should to me, right? Hello, right? But the thing is, as much as I have felt this desire and I felt like it was important for me to write another book, I've had ideas for it, and I'm just like, I can't sink my teeth into it. I'm like, oh, you should write a book on sales, sales inside out, upside down. And I'm like, nah, does the world need another sales book? I don't know. Maybe it does. It probably does, but I've not felt compelled to write it. Right? And I know that if I was, it would be killer and it would be great. But I also know if I'm not compelled to write it, it has no chance of being killer or great. And so I've just been kind of like with it on the back burner. And if you go back and you listen to the episode from February of 2025, the birthday episode, I explained to you how my world works. It's like an idea is here, another independent idea is there, another independent idea is there, and then all of a sudden something happens and bang, they all come together. So I've been sitting with this, idea. I want to write another book. Why? Well, yeah, okay, ego, okay, vanity, okay, but you know what? I think I have something to say too. And okay, I've, interviewed, 1,400 people, like there's some content there, like legit, that's valuable, right? So ego aside, it is actually legit content, but I haven't had there it is. And now I have it. And now I've had it for 3 months since February, and I don't have 5 seconds to write it, because 3 shows have to come out a week on deadline. And of course, in between, I'm every other place in the world, traveling around, which I love to do. If the answer was say no to all speaking engagements, I could get all this done, right? But I love going out to High Point and Vegas Market and Design Edge and IWCE and SSNA and individual things that I get invited to speak at, chapter meetings for IDS or ASID. I don't just think they're okay. I love doing that. So I'm not taking that off my calendar. That's like, taking date night off your calendar to make time to clean your house. Like, what kind of trade-off is that? So the thing is, I love this idea because I really feel it serves all of us. I really feel the show is going to be this next iteration. What I love too is that the first iteration sits there. It's not like I pull it away and say, meh, you didn't get it. It's too late. It sits there. It sits there for you to use and to refresh and to go back. And if you're new, to learn. But this next iteration really serves you if you are seasoned and you kind of know all the things. I know that feeling. I feel like I kind of know all the things about running a business, but I still know every day I reach out to Vinny, Kate O'Hara, Sandra Funk, Nicole Heimer. I could list you 20 people, Stephanie Hamilton, that I reach out to and go, check me on this. Is this how you do the thing? Right? And so I want to be that for you. All right? So here's the other thing. I want to share more of the behind the scenes. I've interviewed enough people about Instagram that says the behind the scenes works. And you've listened to me 1,000 times say I can't be bothered. Like I just can't. I just can't, right? But there's something different about this again. There's something different about this that I'm interested in sharing it with you if you're interested in learning it and being along for the ride. So we're creating InsideVoice, okay? InsideVoice is going to be a subset of my email list. So if you're on my email list right now, thank you. I appreciate that you do that. I don't take that lightly. But I'm asking you, if you are interested in behind the scenes information, okay, then I'm asking you to put your hand up and say, yes, send me that information, because I'm not going to send it to everybody. Not everybody wants it. Like, you don't need another email in your inbox if you're not interested. But if you're interested, some of the content and the things that I expect to be sharing in InsideVoice is the behind the scenes at how the podcast revamp is going, right? It might be, in the middle of, my head down for 4 hours creating one of the compilation episodes, and I get this big aha moment. And maybe I'm going to literally just make a video of myself telling you the aha moment I got from writing this again. Because, that kind of stuff happens to me. I'll go back and listen to an episode from a couple of years ago because I have to find some information. I'm like, oh my God, that was so good. I forgot about that, right? Like what Fred Burns said or Nancy Ganskalfer said or Stacey Brown Randall said, right? So it'll be behind the scenes at how the podcast revamp is going. I'm also going to share, the process for writing book 4. Maybe I'm going to give you a chapter and be like, what do you think of this chapter? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I'm thinking that this chapter doesn't belong in the book. What do you think? Right? So I want to share that kind of information if you're interested in it. Also, just weekly and monthly reflections, musings, business hacks. I don't know, maybe there's going to be bloopers in there. I have no idea. God knows I have the bloopers, believe me. And they're very bloopy. That's all I can tell you, right? But aha moments. And then, you know what? Also, real business lessons in real time. Because this is something, I feel like I'm a student of business. And it's why I love doing this podcast, because I truly am all day, every day, evaluating everybody's business, right? So like I've said, if you know me really well and you've heard me say this before, I'm absolutely certain that the universe missed something about what I should have been doing, because I feel like I would be the best ever TV show on epic customer service fails, because I can't go to the store and do grocery shopping or get my car repaired or buy an ice cream cone without having a complete dissertation in my head of how this is being done dumb. like literally, I'm like, one little change here and this whole process, this whole experience would have been completely different. Or I'm watching somebody having a hissy fit, with a service provider, and I'm just like, that's not how you answer a person when they're mad. That's just not how you do it. I get that they're not being kind to you, but that's not how you do it, right? And so literally all day, every day, it's an obsession that like even like when Vin and I are together, especially traveling, he's just like, okay, we're not saving everybody's business. I'm like, I know we're not saving everybody's business. I'm not their mama. I'm just saying, why didn't they do it this way? And he's like, right, but they didn't. Like, stop. So, when I come across these things, I'm going to share them with you. Right. And so InsideVoice, when it is a video, is not going to be high production. I'm not making another job for myself. Okay. It's real time, real talk, real resource if you want to look under the hood and behind the curtain to see what's happening. Right. So if this sounds like the kind of thing that you would like to be a part of, obviously, this is starting now while I'm putting my head down to repurpose the content on the podcast. Then if it sounds like something you'd love to be on the ride for, I'd love to have you on the inside. Okay. And if you want to, you can go to LuAnnNigara.com/InsideVoice, and you will just put your name and your email on that. And I expect within a month or so, we're going to start to feed content to the InsideVoice email list. And what I'm also hoping to do is like either a monthly or a bi-monthly newsletter where we have standing content that we just round robin. This is this is that, this is this. And this is a thing where I said to my team, I know it sounds crazy, but I almost feel like it's like 2000 and blogging was just getting noticeable and just starting to become like a thing. And I just am very compelled to have this conversation, this extended conversation about business strategies and tactics in addition to the real life. Like, this is what really happens. Like, yeah, I had a team meeting today and I had all of the plans for this conversation going really well and it went sideways. And this is what happened. And this is how I'm going to come back from it. Right. So I feel like this pull to go back and sit down and talk with you, communicate with you, provide whatever value I can possibly offer you, but do it in the dual format now, right? And so we'll get these. And the good thing, you're thinking, oh, these compilation episodes seem like a lot of work. Well, hello, they are. But I'm not also tied to an interview time, and I'm not tied to, somebody has waited for an interview for 6 months and now they don't have the right headset and we have to reschedule. And I feel bad. So I've got to stick them in the one white spot that I had in my calendar for the next 2 weeks. So that's the difference. These are not any less intensive from a team standpoint, whether it's my time, the team's time, the editor's time. There's nothing easy about them compared to what we've done. It's just that we can bank these and we can do these once we get on a roll and get a process. And I'm not at the whim of someone else's calendar to do it. If I want to do it all day Saturday and Sunday and then play with my grandchildren all day Monday, I can, right? And that's the type of thing that, I'm expecting my future to look like, okay? So please, I hope that you enjoy the new format. I do think that while I have my head down and we air these other kinds of episodes, that they're valuable. I have had good friends who are listeners of the show tell me, Chloe, thank you, you were one of them, tell me that you wouldn't mind a break so that you can get caught up. It's a lot of content that we've put out here, my team and I, for 9 years. And so whether you use these next couple of months to take a break or you use these next couple of months to revisit, like I said, these shows that maybe you missed a lesson that you're ready to hear, or you get new insights and lessons from hearing me and my crazy yapper on the other podcasts, I'm not thinking this is a step down in content. I'm thinking it's still very, very, very important and valuable. But it's just a different format for a few months until we come out with the actual new format. All right. So, my friend, this is where we are. And I would just tell you that if the first 9 years of this podcast, if you think about that as your undergrad degree in the home decor industry degree, Now we're going to master's level. Now you're going to go get your MBA in these various topics because we're getting specialized and we're getting sharper and we're getting strategic. Okay, so whether you are new and building your business from the ground up, or you're seasoned and you are looking to increase your profitability and maintain a healthy business, or you're seasoned and you're looking to scale it to the next level, I still want to be your source for that. I want to still be your trusted partner on that journey. All right. And I have every intention of being exactly that. So thank you so, so much for listening to the show, whether it's years or months, for sticking with me, for growing alongside of me, for growing your businesses up, for growing your own business savvy and acumen up, and for trusting me with your time along this journey of yours in growing your business. Okay? So we're not going backward and we're not slowing down. We're evolving together. All right. And I am just super delighted to, unleash this new format for you and to get your feedback on it. And of course, if you're in the Inside Voice list, you'll be able to give me your feedback. Well, you can always give me your feedback, right? You can always email me and you can always Instagram, DM me or comment on a post. But I'm expecting it to be a closer relationship there, more communicative. Okay. Alrighty. So again, that's LuAnnNigara.com/InsideVoice. But for today, thank you. Truly from the bottom of my heart. I hope that you're excited about this. I certainly am. I feel like it's definitely time. And I have to tell you, at this many years in business, I trust my inside voice so much now. And when something keeps banging on my head that says, I don't think this content is, for the seasoned designer, it's not hitting the mark. And you know what? It's great and it's good. But you know what? You also don't want to do this deadline-driven work anymore. There's a different version, because I kept saying, I'm not done though. And I can be done. I can be done. I could put my time back into WindowWorks and help JC and Christy and Kim and Carlos and Billy build that business. I could put my time into exciting windows at a higher level and continue to help Vinny grow that business. But I'm not done here. But it needed to change. And I think the change will be good for all of us. So thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you so much. This episode comes out the Friday of High Point, and I will be in High Point. So if you come to one of my panels or you see me walking by in my green and you have heard this episode, don't hesitate to grab me and tell me your ideas and your thoughts and your reactions to it, because you're on this with me and I do this for you. So I get tremendous satisfaction from doing it. But if you're not enjoying it and you're not growing and you're not benefiting from it, there's no point. So absolutely share your thoughts with me if you see me this weekend. Alrighty, my friends, thank you. Decide to be excellent. Thank you for joining me today. This podcast is a production of LuAnn Nigara, Inc. If you want to know more about me, my books, or LuAnn University, go to LuAnnNigara.com. And if you are interested in having WindowWorks help you with your next window treatment or awning project in the New York, New Jersey metro area, go to WindowWorksNJ.com to learn more. Have an excellent day.